All right, final example here on 3-3, and this example 3 is a little bit different from the other two because you're not just solving an equation. You're actually not solving an equation at all. The equation has been solved for you. The directions are asking you to identify which real number property justifies each step. So when we talk about those real number properties, those are back, I think, 1-5 in our notes for those real number properties. But those are the things like your commutative property. Oh yeah, right here, 1-5. So your commutative property, your associative property, your inverses, your equality properties, those are the kind of properties that we're talking about when we're talking about real number properties. So they're asking to figure out which real number property is going on in each step. There is a homework problem like this, so it's important that you're kind of following along. So this first line naturally is just the original. So there's really nothing I can write there. That's where these A, B, C's, and D's come in. I have those highlighted because next to each letter, you should have a property written. So if you look from the first line of your equation to the second line of your equation, what is changing? What did they do differently in that line? And you can see here that they took the 3 and kind of switched places with these. It was negative 2x plus 3 minus 4x, and they just kind of switched the order of those. Well, the property that deals with switching the order of numbers is that commutative property. That CO is changing the order. So that commutative property is what's going on in step A. Next, you want to look from line A to line B. What changed there? And I'm just going to compare. So this side, oh, right here, I have a minus 12 and a minus 12 that I put on both sides. What are those properties called when you're, using that to solve an equation and you're doing the same thing to both sides? That is the newest property that we've learned about, and that equality property. Remember when I'm subtracting 4 to both sides, that's the equality property of subtraction. Dividing 8 to both sides is the equality property of division. That's exactly what's going on here. Here, I have the minus 12 to both sides. The only difference is I didn't write it underneath. I wrote it next to it, which is still okay. So this is the equality of subtraction, because that's what I'm doing. I'm minusing the 12 to both sides. So here you'll notice in this next line, there's no letter there. They're just combining like terms and simplifying things. So then if we look from this no name line to line C, what is changing? What is different about those lines? Ooh, mistake. This 4 is supposed to have an X next to it. Yeah, that's a mistake. We'll have to fix that. So here, they took both of those x's, the negative 2 at an x and the negative 4 at an x, they took both of those x's out and brought it to the outside. So they kind of went backwards. Instead of giving the x to both pieces, they took it out of both pieces, which still is the distributive property. It's just backwards. Instead of giving it or multiplying it to both pieces, we took it out of both pieces. So some more simplifying, and then we get down to this line. So from here to here, what is changing? I can see the negative 6x, right here, plus 6 plus 6. I'm adding that 6 to both sides. That's that equality property of addition, because I'm adding that 6x to both sides. Then in step E, from D to E, what's different? Ooh, we moved things. The 6x was over here. We changed the order, which, just like we saw before, was that commutative property, changing that order. And finally, last but not least, looking what changes from here to here, I have 1 equals 7x. So I'm going to multiply both of those sides by 1/7. That's what's changing right there, which does turn out to be the equality property of multiplication. Make sure you use this example to help you looking at that homework problem.